Alright guys, here's my first attempt of doing a video for you. We are doing lessons 104, 105, and 106 this week. And then you also got test 13, so that will be uploaded to GradeLink and print that out. Alright, so lesson 104 is semicircles, arcs, and sectors. Remember a circle, the circumference equation is pi d. That would be my dog that's going to bark every time someone opens the door. Circumference is pi d, and so that's for a full circle. If we're doing a semicircle, which is going to be half of the circle, then the perimeter, which will be just the outside of half of that circle, that's going to be pi d over 2. All right, and then area of a semicircle, again, area of a circle is pi r squared. So again, for area of the semicircle, which would just be half of that area, it's going to be divided by 2. Okay, so that's for the semicircle. If we had a problem where we have basically this rectangle piece and then the circle, and so this is my radius going from here to here. That would be the radius of that semicircle. If that radius, and we could even look at it out here, if that radius was 5, let's say meters, and then this is 4 meters, this length, of course, is going to be 10 meters because it's going all the way across, because it's the diameter, but also the side of that rectangle. If we wanted the area of this whole shape, then we're going to take the area of the rectangle, which is going to be 4 times 10. And then we're going to take the area of our semicircle, which is going to be pi r squared over 2. So 25 pi over 2. And so the whole thing will be 40 plus 25 pi over 2 meters. Okay. If we wanted to do the perimeter of this shape, then we're going to add up all of our sides, where we're going to have 4 plus 10 plus 4, that's going to be our 3 sides of the rectangle, and then we need the perimeter of that semicircle, and so that's we're going to add pi d over 2. Alright, so our diameter is 10. So of course that's going to make it 5. So we have 18 plus 5 pi meters. Right over here, this will be meters squared because that's area. Alright, so that is going to be the semicircle, finding the area and the circumference. Alright, the next piece of this is arcs. And again, arcs, we're going to start with that full circle. And we have our radius r there. Again, area of the circle is pi r squared. okay? If we're doing an arc, which is just a portion of, like a pie wedge piece of that circle, then we're gonna take, actually, okay, so going around the circle all the way is 360 degrees. Alright. And so if we said that this angle, we'll say is 80 degrees, okay? And so if I know that the radius is 5, then the area of the whole circle is going to be 25 pi, because pi r squared. And then what we want to do is we want to take the portion of it. So I have 25 pi times 80 over 360. I'm going to get a weird number with this. The zeros cancel out. Also 4 will go into both of these. So that's 2. That's 9. And so we're going to get 50 pi over 9. That would be my area of just this purple segment right here. Okay. Let's see. The last thing we need to talk about is so that was the sector. So we need to do arcs. An arc is the same thing. It's just looking at this portion of the circumference. And so you're going to do the same thing where if we looked at this, the circumference of that whole circle is pi d, so it would be 10 pi. And then we want to take that ratio portion, so 10 pi times 80 over 360. Again, those will cancel out. I can reduce this. And so my answer here is going to be 20 pi over 9. And that would be the arc length here of that circle. All right, that is lesson 104. 105 is surface area of right solids and surface area of a sphere. So we have some shapes here. I'm going to start. Y'all know my little geometric shapes are at school. So I went into the pantry. We have a box here. And if we're finding the surface area, that means we're taking the area of all the sides of the box here. So I've got a front and a back. So to find the surface area of the total box, it'd be 2 times the length times the width. Okay, if we said that this is our length and this is our width. And then we have the top and the bottom. So that would be 2, we'll say the width times the height. Guess I'm making, this is my height. And then we also have these sides. So 2 times the length times the height. All right, if we add, that's going to give me all 6 sides. We add up those areas of the box, and then that will give us the surface area. All right, if we have a cylinder that we need to do the surface area from, we've got the top and the bottom, which are circles. Okay, so this would be a rectangle. Alright, for a cylinder, we have a top and a bottom. That is a circle. We know the area of a circle is pi r squared, and I have 2 of them. Right. Now to get the sides, if I get this off right, again, I have the sheet perfectly out at school. Okay, if we take the label without my ripped off pieces, we have a rectangle. That's what goes around, okay? And so it's going to be the height here. Alright, so see to make the rectangle, I've got the height. It's going to go around that can. And I've got length. And as that length goes all the way around the can, going around the can, that distance is the circumference. So it's going to be the height times the circumference, which is 2d. Or, no, that is not what it is. I'm thinking 2 pi r. It's pi d. Alright, so if we had this cylinder here and we knew, so let's say the height is 6, we'll say the radius is 2. And so if we were going to find the surface area of this cylinder, we've got 2 pi times r squared, which is going to be 4, plus the height, 6. The diameter, since that's 2 for the radius, the diameter is going to be 4, and that's also times pi. So I have 8 pi plus 24 pi. I can add these together because they both have pi in it, and so we have 32 pi would be my surface area. We'll just call it inches. Alright, so inches squared. The other shape is the sphere, so ball. And for the sphere, it is just 4 pi r squared. Yeah, so that is the surface area of a ball. So if we had a ball shape and that radius, we'll say is 3, then the surface area of the sphere is going to be 4 pi 3 squared, 36 pi. Okay. All right. That is let's do one more. We're going to do triangle. Alright, so if we have a triangular shape, a tent. Windsor, stop. Okay. So this side's 5, this side's 5. This is 4, and our height is 4. So on the triangle, we're going to need to do each of these sides. We've got a front and a back there. And then we've got this side, and the one over there is going to match. And then we've got the bottom. Okay, so it's going to be these rectangular shapes, and then the 2 triangle shapes on the ends there. Remember, the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So this one, so we have 1/2, 4 times 4, here's my base, here's my height, and then times 2. So those are going to cancel out, and we're going to have 16 there. Alright, so that takes care of my front and back of this triangular shape. Then the bottom, you can see it's the 4 and the 5. So 4 times 5. And then this side, and it's going to match over there, that other side. And it's the length here, 5, and that length, 5. So I've got 2 of those. Alright, so I have 16 plus 20 plus 50. And so that will be 86 altogether. Let's call that meters. And so it'll be 86 meters squared. Alright, that is our surface areas. Alright. Last lesson is about equations and just solving for different variables. So we know the area of a rectangle is length times width. And so if we wanted to just use this equation and find what width is, then we would divide both sides by the length to get width all by itself. And so width is area over the length. Okay. And so that's what we're doing in this, is just taking these formulas and looking for what we're just transforming the formulas is what we're doing. Again, if I had A equals, what do we say? AX equals B, and I wanted to solve for A, then we're gonna divide both sides by X, and A equals B over X. All right, another example. I have R equals HT divided by 2. And I want to solve for T. The first thing I need to do is, since this is divided by 2, I want to multiply both sides by 2. So I have 2R equals HT. And now I need T by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by H. And T is going to be 2R divided by H. The last part of this is talking about square roots. We've done this before. Where we know that 2 squared is 4, right? And we've also said, I think we did this last week, we said negative 2 squared is also 4, okay? So when we do the backwards of this, and we're looking at 4, and we take the square root, and we've always said that that is 2, we need to remember that there's actually 2 possible numbers. That the square root of 4 is positive 2, and it can also be negative 2. So whenever you take the square root of a number, like the square root of 9, you always have 2 answers. It's plus or minus 3. If I did the square root of 25, the answers would be plus or minus 5. So just remember, there's always 2 answers when we're taking the square root, because we can multiply positive 2 together and get the 4, but we can multiply negative 2 times negative 2 and get the positive number. So I think that is everything. No, one more. Okay, let's looking at square roots. Let's look at cube roots. All right, so if we had the cube root of 8, in this case, we know that that is 2, but it is only 2 because it's a positive 8. If you remember, if I did 2 times 2 times 2, that's going to give me 8. But if I did negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, that does not give me 8. That gives me negative 8. All right, so when we're doing cube roots, it's going to be one or the other. For square roots, it's going to be both. So if I did the cube root of negative 8, then that answer would be only negative 2. And if I did the cube root of negative 27, that answer would be negative 3. The cube root of positive 27 would be a positive 3. All right, so that is everything for this week. And if y'all have questions, just email me. All right.